Hello, fellow pen lovers and stationery enthusiasts. It's Christy here, Snarky Wordsworth over on Instagram and Reddit. And today I am going to be doing the final installation of my Vinta Inks collection swatches. So part 1 included oranges and browns, part 2 included greens and teals, part 3 blues and cool grays, and now part 4 is purples, pinks, and warm grays. Now I have 4 lovely shades here, and hopefully one of these will manage to catch your eye. Okay, so today's first swatch is the only sample that I have in my entire Vinta collection. This one was provided to me by the wonderful Lau over at Kenchan Crafts. If you aren't following Lau, you should be. He makes marvelous videos. He just did a fantastic one all about his trip to the Chicago Pen Show. Anyway, this color is gorgeous. 100% I'm going to be getting a bottle. But yeah, so far I have had a lot of luck with the shimmer in this, and I just think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. So the shimmer on Lilac Dawn is actually much more subdued than shimmer is usually in Vinta Inks, and I am 100% a-okay with that, particularly because it lets the shading become the star of the show. And look at this shading. It's not even dry yet, and you can already see just how the color is just absolutely amazing in the regular written line. It's just kind of a gorgeous, multifaceted periwinkle, and I just am absolutely here for it. Next up is Apex Silver, which is also called Haribon. This is an absolutely stunning ink. I just think it's gorgeous, and it also works really, really well regardless of nib. It is a shimmer ink, but I have this one working in even my fine TWSBIs. It is reliable, and it is absolutely beautiful. So Apex Silver, definitely much heavier on the shimmer than, say, Lilac Dawn, so it does tend to be a bit drier when you're writing with it, but it's absolutely usable. I definitely use this one in more of my either very wet writing fines or my mediums and my stubs, but it is an absolutely stunning ink. You can see there's a beautiful pale gray shade that it acts as the base. There's some pinks in there. You do have a little bit of purple, and then of course this gorgeous sort of bright silver shimmer that pops in and out. It's just a really lovely silver, especially if you happen to like gray tones like I do. Loads and loads of shading going on. Just remember, like I said, it definitely does have a heavier shimmer to it, so make sure you use a medium nib or above, or a very, very wet writing fine. Okay, next up is Vinta's Mother of Pearl, which is also called Nakar. This is a dark, deep tone with loads of shimmer, definitely beautiful, and not particularly temperamental. Very, very reliable, I've found. So Mother of Pearl is a really, really fascinating shade to me. It does have black tones to it, but there are also greens, there are grays, there's a little bit of brown. It is just a really, really cool blend of tones. So it really does look quite a bit like Mother of Pearl. You get all of those blends of colors right within the black, and it's just, you know, chef's kiss. I adore this shade. It's also one that works really, really well for me. It behaves marvelously well. I use this one in fines as well as mediums and stubs. It just is very reliable, and it doesn't do hard starts for me. It doesn't clog the feed. This one is a very, very nice shimmer ink. And then there was one. This is my very last ink. This is Vinta's The Maiden, which is also called Lakambini. This is actually the ink that prompted this whole series of videos because I really, really don't enjoy writing with this ink at all. And I enjoy writing with Vinta inks that are not this one so much. I was so bummed about this one that I wanted to remind myself and all of my pen friends out there that Vinta is a fantastic company that makes glorious shades, does shimmer very, very well. It's just for whatever reason, this guy just hates me. I've tried it in every single go-to shimmer pen I have. I've tried additives, I've switched out paper. It's just generally not a workable ink for me. But that's not to say it won't work for somebody else. It is an absolutely gorgeous shade. I love the pink base. I love the gold shimmer. I just, like I said, can't use it in my own writing. But if you like it and you manage to make it work, then this is a beautiful, beautiful color. So this is the Maiden, also called Lakambini. You can see there is already a ridiculous amount of shimmer going on. It's not dry, FYI. It is still totally wet, and so the shimmer will only become more and more apparent as it dries down further. It does have a beautiful, beautiful pink tone at the base. You've got that bright, vibrant gold shimmer going on, which you can see throughout the whole swatch and throughout the writing experience. This has so much shimmer that I did not have to shake the bottle between different inkings. I just let it ride, and it didn't matter. There was still plenty of shimmer to be seen. So that should tell you a little bit about how much is in this mix. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and let everything dry down completely, and then we'll be back to do some close-ups and some final thoughts, and then you'll get to see how all of these lovely colors look when everything is said and done. It has been about 15 minutes, and these 4 shimmer inks are all pretty much totally dry. So if we do close-ups, you can see here this Lilac Dawn has crazy shading. Just look how beautiful this is. Like, seriously. So in the text itself, I don't see a huge amount of shimmer, but you do see some, which is actually not the worst thing because it does, again, bring that shading to the forefront. It also means it's a very, very usable shimmer ink, as in it doesn't clog your feeds, and it does work really, really well all the way down to fine TWSBI nibs, at least in my experience. And this color really is just so lovely. Look at all of that shading. But yeah, if you're looking for a periwinkle, this is absolutely stunning. Right below that is my Apex Silver Haribon. Now, it doesn't show up as well in the video, but this has a really beautiful pink tone to the base gray. Like, I don't know why it's not coming up on the video, but it is there, and it is absolutely stunning. It's one of the reasons I love this ink so much, because you get that lovely, lovely blushy pink through the gray, and then you have that silver shimmer on top of it. And you can see the shimmer does show up all over the place throughout the text. It is a little bit drier than, say, the Lilac Dawn, but you do get more shimmer. So there's always going to be a bit of a toss-up there. This is quite a reasonable ink, though. I use it in mediums and stubs, so, or very, very wet fines, so it does work quite well. It's not one that I have given up on. It's one that I like to put in my rotation frequently, especially when I want that little bit of pink showing through with grays. So if you're a gray fan, definitely check that one out. Now, right below that is that Mother of Pearl, and you can see in that text, it is just so chic. I love the way that shimmer pops in and out, and you don't see as much once it's totally dry of all those other colors that make up this ink. You see a little bit less of the green, you see a little bit less of the brown, but that shimmer just pops. And in the pool, and then over here, you can see hints of the green, especially when the light plays off of the shimmer with it. So it really does still have that mother of pearl vibe. It's just definitely significantly less than when it's dry than when it is wet. I do use this a lot. I love it. I do think it's a really chic looking sort of deep dark tone with that silver. So anytime I'm trying to write something that I want to give like very elegant feel to, this is one that pops into a pen. And the very last one, the Maiden Lakambini. You can see there is a lot of gold going on here. It is a really lovely pink tone. When it goes down wet, it is very, very bright, but it does dry down to a lovely sort of lighter pink, and not quite a dusky pink, I wouldn't say, but definitely not super in your face the way it is when it's still wet. That said, that gold, man, it is a killer for me. If you happen to have good experiences with this, definitely put in the comments, let me know what you're doing, because I would love to be able to use this ink. I really, really would. I do think it's a beautiful color, and I love Vinta inks in general, so my Waterloo. It is still a beautiful color, though, so if you like pink, if you like shimmer, this is definitely one to put on your list to check out at the very least. Okay, so that was the last of my Vinta Ink swatch videos. I will put together a playlist and have that linked down below that has all 4 of the videos. Vinta really is one of my favorite ink companies. No matter how much I complain about Lakambini, please don't let that color your viewpoint of their other inks. Some of them are some of my absolute favorite inks in my entire collection. I've mentioned many times colors like Armada, Haribon, Tandikan, Serena. These are gorgeous shades. Vinta does excellent formulas, really knows how to make a good solid shimmer ink that won't clog feeds. I can't recommend them highly enough, and I will continue to add Vinta inks to my collection regardless of how I feel about this one. I actually have a couple in a cart right now that are waiting on me to place the final order, so there may be a Vinta inks number 5 sometime in the future. In any case, if you have any questions about these particular inks, please feel free to put those in the comments below. If you have experience with these colors and you want to share them, definitely love to hear about that as well. If this video happens to be entertaining, interesting, useful to you in any way, please do consider giving it a thumbs up or potentially even subscribe to the channel. And with that, I am going to go ahead and sign off. As always, thank you so much for joining me. If you have made it to the end of this swatch video, you are absolutely everything that is awesome. Again, thanks so much for viewing, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye-bye.